Well, good afternoon. Yeah. Right now it's a little afternoon. Thought I'd get in here and just run a quick one up there for you. I got my internet back yesterday. First they told me I had a bad modem, and then because there was no outages in here, I think they lied to me because there was other people around here who were having the same problem. Come to find out, there was a breakage in the line out here, not too far away. We had some high winds prior to that, so this was down a week, and it was something getting used to not having internet. But I got by just fine. Matter of fact, I did a lot of extra cooking than I don't normally do, and played some games on my computer. Not internet games, obviously, just games that were loaded on here. And that's actually about it. I spent quite a bit of time with Pup outside when they were to get him out. Yeah, I did have some family stop in and spend a few days with me. So all in all, it was my time was occupied, and I made lemonade out of lemons, I guess you could say. Now, when it went down, I was doing some research on my computer, and I haven't completed what I was doing. So over the next week or so, I'll be hot and heavy into that. The I came up with quite a bit of things. I don't know how much of it I'll put out. I'm just trying to get subjects to throw on here. Nothing bad or anything like that. Uh, I plan on being live Saturday, so if you feel like stopping in Saturday sometime between 9 and 9:30, I'll try to get a video up, and we'll find out how you did over the New Year's. The Today's the last day of the year, obviously. It is when all of you go out and party, I guess, tonight to uh, party the New Year in. More than likely, I won't be doing that. If I do, it'll be here at the house, and it'll probably be a sober year or sober night for me. Uh, I did notice that while I was incapacitated here on the internet, there was a lot of people out there tearing me up in some way or another. Seems that a lot of people think that I'm mentally incapacitated to a certain extent. I'm amazed. When I look at a lot of them out there, they have trouble with different words. They have trouble pronouncing them, understanding them, and they're calling me incapacitated. Don't make sense to me. But then it's more like young kids do when they're in school and they're having trouble figuring out how to get somebody's goat. And so they try all kinds of different tactics. They've tried to attack my character in the last month or so, maybe a little longer. I don't know. I refuse to go on their channels anymore. It's all BS anyway. It's not very interesting. There's, as you know, the cases have kind of slowed down. Not a lot going on, so you have to rehash whatever's there to make it exciting, and you have to make faces to dramatize it. And I'm just not really into that, at least not right now. Maybe if I was in a better mood, I would, but I'm just not. I'm still trying to dig myself out of the fog of losing my wife, and it's not an easy thing. But the sadness will probably be there forever. I'm assuming it doesn't really go away. But I'm trying to rejoin life itself, and my neighbors have helped. I spent quite a bit of time with the different neighbors around here. Uh, I've been doing my grocery shopping and making lists now so that I don't forget too much. uh, I haven't spent a lot of time out in my garage. I worked on the furnace out there a couple times. It seems to have a vacuum switch out there that is weak, and I don't know if the diaphragm is starting to go bad in it or not. It's part of the safety system for expelling air out before the gas turns on, and that electronically controls the carburetor, the gas carburetor, the natural gas. Oh, if I sound like I don't understand what I'm doing, it's probably because of that old age. You know what I mean? um, I know when I took some testing, mechanical testing here recently. I wanted to make sure I still am up on top of it, and I'm in the 95 to 96 percentile for people that do the same thing. A lot of people forget that as old as I am, the jobs I had prior to getting here required uh, somewhat of a decent memory and a mechanical ability, and therefore math skills, things like that. I'm way at the very top of the scale. Communication scale, I may be losing a little bit of that because I don't do a lot of communicating out there anymore. And even starting back up on the computer, putting videos up, it took me a while not to stumble over words. But I'm kind of pretty much back to my old self. I think I could probably get out and put seminars on like I used to years ago. I did a lot of teaching adults of different aspects of installation of materials in nuclear plants, and also was part of the different teams that license people to do that. So it's not like I was uh, went through life without a brain up here. Okay, and I'm not going to just sit here and defend myself all day or all night. Most of you that follow my channel have a different view of it. Yeah, I jump around a lot because I get disinterested in things like anybody that has been involved in the type of work I was. You're used to moving at a fairly fast pace, and so it's hard to slow down and try to be thorough in what you're talking about. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but people that have worked different places will tell you the same thing. One of the most famous people I've worked with several people that were famous in the scientific world. One of them was a Dr. Mandel. If you want to look him up, he worked in the NASA Center and he invented the tiles that were on the space ships that helped get rid of the heat shield. I was one of the inventors for a system that goes in nuclear submarines for fire suppressive system and fire protection. Also used them in nuclear plants for redundant shutdown systems to protect them from fire should it happen. And I happened to be one of the guys that was in charge of the engineering for walk down at Browns Ferry Unit 2. That's a unit that was famous for a fire that it had in electrical trays. I hope I've impressed you enough to make you understand I'm not senile and I don't have any intention of being that way. So I'm not going to go any further into things like that. Most people wouldn't want to follow it. It's boring. Uh, it takes a special type of person to get used to just going with numbers all the time. Somebody might be an accountant or something like that. And real terms, a walk down engineer is closely related to being an accountant. Like I say, your head fills up with numbers. The thing you add to it is locations from the numbers, being able to tell where something is in a certain plan and coming up with a way to track it. So now you know that's kind of my background. Now we've dispelled that. I have some of them out there that are attacking me, and I thought, well, maybe I can feed some of this back into like an AI system, and it helped me. There's certain identifiers with people that attack you that will actually, especially utilizing Google as a second part of that, that will actually steer you towards other places where this same language has been used. I was amazed at how quickly I was able to find several people. And I may go over some of that as I open it up a little bit more. I would like to have more paperwork to explain it to you how it works and how I was able to come out with certain names. And although I don't plan on uh, using specifics as I go, what it is for my own, you might say, curiosity. Okay. I have signed paperwork on some things that says that I won't utilize any of the information against others, which is a liability release, is what it is. So that certain aspects, if I was to use it, even though I'd have the documentation, it relieves them of lawsuits. Understanding people today are so crazy. These people that are after me at this time, they do a lot of name calling, and they do everything they can to disparage your well, your reputation. And if you look back into mine, my reputation is a pretty decent one. And when you're in your 80s, to live this long and have friends, and you have to be a pretty decent person. Otherwise, by the time you're this age, you're completely by yourself. And I'm far from that. Now, a lot of you, I may be able to meet. You guys know that I really am. I very well intentioned to plan on going to Florida this spring. I am going down there with some family members, and I plan on being there for however long it takes to get a few things done that are a necessity. I'm also contemplating some things to get involved here in Iowa that have to do with the Florida items. That'll be interesting too. And when you see how I join it together, it'll be more interesting to you. And I didn't come up with those ideas by myself. I don't work in that type of thing ever. But when I get bored and somebody pushes the wrong buttons, that's when I get interested in it. And matter of fact, that's what made me a success in the business that I was. Now, I worked for a foreign country back in those years. And although I didn't travel between continents or anything, I traveled almost everywhere in the United States. Consequently, everything from north to south, mainly east of the Mississippi, I have relatives of some kind. Uh, but on the western side, I did spend a lot of time at different nuclear plants. So, yeah, I know a lot of people. Unfortunately, the biggest share of them that I worked on nuclear plants have passed away. Uh, it was a dying breed when I was in there. The last ones that I was involved in was up in Maine, but I worked on some of the engineering for the walk downs on a plant that pre-existed at Indian Point 1 and 2. I did some work up in that Buffalo area. I stayed at Bear Mountain. I know people around there yet to this day. I worked in North Carolina. I worked in Connecticut. Let's see, I did work in New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I've stayed in Massachusetts. Um, I have visited Boston. I liked it there. I do have some friends in Boston. Um, oh boy. Uh, some of my relatives are dug into both sides of the Appalachian Mountains and going from North Carolina south and from Kentucky and Tennessee south as well down into Georgia. And a few had lived in Florida at one time or another, including myself at one time, a long, long time ago, way, way before I remembered. I've traveled Florida, and so I know a lot of places down there and still know a few people. Uh, my chairman of the board actually retired down there in Florida. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but the person that was under him is, and I was going to try to contact him. Uh, he still owns a big share of the board, or, the companies. When I say companies, there was 15 plus here in the United States, and I think it's counting the one we had in Spain or partners with in Spain. Some countries you can't own the entire company. You have to. Uh, the majority owner has to be a citizen. Spain is one of them, or was at that time. Other countries, you can own quite a bit of the company, but there's other strings attached. Just to let you know, uh, it's a intricate system, and it kept me going. By the time I was in my say 41, 42 years old, I I was pretty well wore out. I have. somewhere around here. Yeah. Let me get something. I'm gonna show you to it. It's me in my late 30s. Now you can see I've got my dark Texas tan on me. Uh, I have got some others. Yeah, I thought I was going to try to make this somewhat interesting. We'll see. This one's my wife, and that's me sitting on the floor there. Uh, my brother-in-law is on the floor on the other side. My wife's uh, grandmother, sister, and one of her sister's kids, and a grandson back there. Just to let you know, that's me, and I was in my late 20s there. This is Galveston Island. I don't know, it's kind of blurry there. And back then, I was in my late 30s. I was working for a German company back then, and I stationed out of Houston, Texas there. And one of the offices I worked in wasn't too far from there, down at the Nassau Center. I had a beard at one time. This is when I first moved back. Again, I was in my uh, early 40s, maybe mid 40s. My wife and I was, but that's the two of us when we. Let's see if I can hold it. Uh, my wife didn't like my beard, so I got rid of it. Uh, neither one of us had any gray hair back then. That came late in life, and my wife loved rock gardens. So this is for Robbie out there. This is our rock garden when we moved back to Iowa, and this isn't the only rock garden. We had another one besides that. We had geodes all the way around our back porch, big ones. Uh, that we had them clear out, even on our front yard. Nobody stole them. I'm amazed, and we're talking some big ones. When we sold the house, we sold all that stuff with it. Now, when I got married, I was 18 years old. That's 3 months after I got married, right there. That picture was taken in Neurut, Germany. Uh, 18, 3 months married. That's me. And you notice that type of haircut from back in the 60s. That was common haircut. I didn't have sideburns there because being in the military, you had to keep your sideburns pretty close. But it was similar to like Elvis Presley, what he wore when he was over there. He was over there 2 years before I was, so that's me. 18 years old. That's a long time ago. uh, yeah, that's about it. This was uh, back when we lived. This was a few months after we got back. My stepmother gave me, or my wife and I, that organ there. So keep us busy doing things. Anyway, That's all I had. I hope I didn't bore you too bad. I was trying to keep from Bobby getting bored. That's what it is. And there's other pictures here, you know, but those showed me on different stages of life. I didn't want you to think I got here and got senile. The different stages was things I did for different living along the way. So I've given you from the time I got married just about to this date. And my looks really haven't changed all that much. And yeah, I know the one in the background shows more muscles on me than what I've got right now. But if you look at some of those pictures, you'll see that I resemble that more when I was in my 30s and 40s than I do today, obviously. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'll see you guys Saturday. Hopefully, I'll be on there between 9 and 9:30. I'll run a live, so that way, if you want to make some comments, you can. Like I say, I was a little uh, disturbed somewhat, but not a whole lot. You know, when people go around calling you names and trying to disparage what you were, what you are, things like that, it's more like kids, and they don't know you, they don't know where you came from or what you did. They just throw things out there to see if they can get you going, and most of it falls back on them. You'll be surprised at the things I found out about these people as they started calling me names. For one thing, people don't normally do that unless they have used that type of tax before. Guess what I found out? The verbiage is word for word of what was used on other people uh, several years ago. And the verbiage I talk about was used during the Johnny Depp trial. That's just a little zinger in there to let you know that I did do my homework. And I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. I'm getting pretty uh, disturbed at some of these people that say things that are untrue and try to destroy somebody's reputation. I realize how easy it is to do that. Double talk is very easy to do, and people that use it are usually somewhat vicious and they make mistakes. There was some mistakes made by them. With that, I'll see you later. You have a great day today. And boy, be careful tonight, will you? Don't get out there and drink and drive. You get somewhere where you've had too many, just stay there or have somebody give you a ride home or to a hotel, wherever you're going to stay, but don't get out on the road. And tomorrow, I didn't want to put anything up tomorrow because I figure some of you are going to have some hangovers or you're going to stay up so late you're not going to feel like doing anything during the daytime. So I'm taking pity on you for tomorrow. Saturday, you should be up and running and gunning, and we'll talk some things over. We want to keep it as clean as we can. We can talk about the parties, and what did you do? And did you have some great food while you were there? And what do you plan on doing over the weekend? So let's get it together. Let's have a talk, and let's take care of it. See you in a little while. Remember, you've seen it here, and you're going to see what I see, my interpretation of it, and I'll give it to you as best I can. With that, see you Saturday.